I earned my degree online at Arizona State University. I chose to get my degree at ASU because I knew that I'd get a quality education, they were recognized for excellence, and that I would be prepared for the workforce upon graduating. To be associated with ASU, both as a student and alum, it makes me extremely proud, and having experienced the program, I know now that I'm set up for success. Learn more at asuonline.asu.edu.
Shop the Sherwin-Williams Labor Day sale and get 35% off paints and stains August 22nd through September 4th. With prices starting at $31.84, it's the perfect time to transform your space with color. Whether you're looking to revamp your interior or exterior, we have you covered with bold hues, soothing neutrals, and everything in between. Visit your neighborhood Sherwin-Williams store or shop the sale online. Delivery available on qualifying orders. Click the banner to learn more. Retail sales only. Some exclusions apply. See store for details.
We'll be right back to today's show, but before we do, I want to let you know that you can get a free copy of my first book, Think Unbroken, Understanding and Overcoming Childhood Trauma, when you leave a review for the podcast on Apple Podcast, either on desktop or on your phone. All you have to do is go to Apple Podcasts, look up Think Unbroken, click follow in the top right, and then go and leave a review at the bottom. And when you leave that review, screenshot it and send it over to book.thinkunbroken.com, where you can upload your contact and mailing information, and we will send you a free copy of this award-winning best-selling book, absolutely free, including shipping. Just go to book.thinkunbroken.com to upload your screenshot review from Apple Podcasts for the Think Unbroken podcast. And until next time, my friend, be unbroken. I'll see ya. If you're watching this right now, you probably typed in, "How do I not give up?" Give me a few minutes and I will help you. I promise. There will be something in here that will help you shift your perspective. Hopefully will give you hope, but more importantly, let you know that you're not alone. So if you don't know me, because this is the first video I'm posting on this channel, I'm Michael Anthony. Some people might know me as Michael Unbroken, which is a handle that I created online socially. And I'm the author of 3 books, an award-winning podcast, and I've also coached thousands of people to help them overcome childhood trauma. And I decided to create this channel as a bit of a talking head channel, kind of a semi-journal to myself, and kind of this thing where I just wanted to create content that's different than what I've put out over the course of almost 10 years. So I have the Think Unbroken podcast. We've done almost 1,000 episodes of that. The Think Unbroken books that we've sold tens of thousands of copies, and I've had a countless number of people come through the Think Unbroken curriculums over the years and really transform their trauma to triumph. And so what I will tell you first and foremost is that I really just wanted to create this channel to help, to give you the thing that you are here seeking in guidance. I can't change your life for you. Unfortunately, nobody can. Only you can. And that's one of those things that you are going to have to reconcile. Because if you do not, nothing in your life is going to be different. And the truth is that most people's lives will never be different because they are unwilling to do the hard work. But my guess is you're not most people. So I want you to jam with me here for a little bit. And I promise you, you will walk away from this and every conversation that we have here on this channel with something that will change you in a way. And maybe that's just a seed being planted about possibility. Maybe there are steps in the process that I share that really unlock the next step for you, the next level for you. And maybe it's just being seen and know someone else feels where you're at. I want to give you very quick context about who I am so you understand why I'm talking about this. So if you're familiar with the ACE score, adverse childhood experiences, I have a score of 10. That's the highest that a score can be. This means that I went through hell and back as a child. My parents were drug addicts and alcoholics. My mother actually cut off and disfigured my right index finger. I was molested by a member of the church. I spent a lot of my childhood homeless because of my parents' financial decisions and their addictions. By the time I was 12, I was adopted. My grandmother was super racist. I'm biracial, black and white, and that just totally threw me through chaos. I spent most of my childhood getting high, getting drunk, stealing from people, robbing people. I got kicked out of high school 3 times. Like, I don't even have a high school diploma, all right? And the reality is, well, let me context that. They gave it to me. They said, get out, let the streets handle you. I didn't earn it, I'll put it that way. And then I chased money and career, and I built something that was magical. And I became a award-winning destination wedding photographer in my 20s. And then I built all these other things. And then suddenly at 30, I realized my life was a complete disaster. I had my first rock bottom at 25, but nothing changed. And it wasn't until I learned what I'm about to talk to you about today that the shift really started to transpire. And so through my story, my journey, and through the things that I've learned, along the way having just some amazing mentors, mind you, I want to come into this space not to talk at you, but to talk to you from the perspective of a mentor, someone who has done this, someone who has walked this path, someone who thousands and thousands of people have come to learn from, and millions of people have listened to on a podcast. I don't have a college education. I still do not have that. I don't have a litany of certifications. I don't have blah, blah, blah. But what I do have is I have real experience. And what I do have, okay, that's not true. I do have 30 certifications, so that's true. But I don't have these like college, I went to Yale and Duke and all this stuff, right? But here I am. And so I want to just create that context so you know what you're getting into. And I want to just go into it right now and tell you this. Not giving up is the hardest thing that you will ever do. How do I know? Because when I was 26, I attempted. Now, because of YouTube, I don't want to have to get it kicked off, but you know what I attempted. You know what this means. And I had done the same thing when I was 14 years old. And when I look at my life today, now heading towards 40, I would never, ever do that again. Why? Because I realized that not giving up isn't actually about me. And I'm going to say this because I know some people understand this, some people won't. When someone does something so drastic, generally speaking, it is the most selfish thing that they can do. Why? Because they're only thinking about the consequences of themselves. And again, I get it. I don't want to take that from people because life sucks sometimes. Sometimes this journey is unbearably hard and you want to quit and you want to walk away, and I understand. But what happened for me is that I realized that I had to make my life about other people, because then I would have purpose. Then I would have something to do other than be in my own head all the time. And initially it wasn't, I'm going to go be a coach and an author and a speaker. That was not it. In the beginning, it was, I'm going to go and serve my community. I'm going to be a better brother. I'm going to help my friends. And I mean, God, there's so many mistakes in the process of all that also. So many missteps, so many things that I wish I could do differently. But I just kept going towards this idea that I had to put myself, right, in the context of what we're talking about, into a position of working towards helping other people first. I had to stop being so selfish. And I know that can sound counter because you're like, well, isn't the thing that you need coaching and therapy and books and podcasts and all those things? It's yes and. It's yes and. You need those things, and you need to go be of service to other people, because I can promise you, even at the lowest moment of your life, which you might be right now watching this, you have nothing to lose. There's nothing but opportunity in front of you. And it's so difficult because when you're in this dark place, sometimes you don't want to get out of bed. Like sometimes you don't want to even talk to a friend. You definitely don't want to go serve at a soup kitchen or be a big brother or go and volunteer at a hospice. You're at the nothingness of life. And I understand that place because I've been there. In fact, at 25 years old, literally the hardest thing for me was getting out of bed and brushing my teeth. That's real. I mean, there would be days I can't shower, I can't think straight, I can't operate. I'm barely holding on. And you want me to go and help people? Yes, because that's the thing that pulled me out. Now, there's some little things that we can do practically along the way, because being of service becomes an anchor, right? This is why a lot of people who go through AA and recovery, they end up becoming sponsors. That's why a lot of my peers, when we come through, whether it be trauma or burnout or overwhelm, or we learn how to solve this problem, we go and serve other people. That's the thing that's lacking in humanity in this digitally adapted society that we live in, where being a human is no longer analog and it's all digital. That's the missing piece of the puzzle. This is why depression rates are sky high. This is why people are deleting at a level that is catastrophic. This is why people are more single and having less sex than ever. It's because we are so disconnected from one another. And so as you're sitting and you're watching this, like, again, I'm just hoping to guide you towards something here. Because when I started being of service and I started helping other people, my life got better because I had something to live for. This is the thing that we have to look at. Living for something, living for someone is about taking that part of you that needs nourishment and going and nourishing other people, in return getting nourished. I will say this because it's just true. Anyone else who disagrees with me, I would love to talk to them, because I will call them a liar in the kindest way to their face. I never feel more better about myself than when I am finished volunteering. There's just no question about it. I never feel better. Nothing brings me more internal joy than going and being of service to people. Okay, that's great, but what if I can't even get out of bed? All right, fair question. What if you can't get out of bed? You have to make a decision. You see, life is about what I look at called the 3 A's. Awareness, acceptance, action. Awareness, acceptance, action. Very simple. Once you have awareness, you are bringing in all of your environment, you're looking at what's happening, you're taking inventory of all of your life. This is awareness. It is in your periphery. You see it, you feel it, you smell it, you taste it. This is you. You are aware of this. Then becomes acceptance. This is the hard part, because acceptance means not only like accountability in a lot of ways, but acceptance also means you sitting in the truth that this is your life. Most people are depressed because they're stuck in the past, or they're anxious because they're stuck in the future. And so we're constantly ruminating. We miss this moment now, which is called being present. Okay, so we bring our awareness into this moment of acceptance, and then through acceptance, now we move to action. And action becomes the state of movement, because without it, you entropy, and that always leads to a disaster, right? You have to move. Action is based in decision making. And what's so fascinating about action, inaction, not doing anything, is also action. You are also making a decision and doing a thing by not doing anything. The lack of action does not make it void, okay? So now you're sitting in your life, you're looking at this, you're like, okay, what do I actually do? And most people, they want to do a 180. They want to go and take their entire life, flip it on its head, and be different today. That's not going to happen. That doesn't work. I've never seen it work. I don't know anyone who it works for. It hasn't worked for me. I've never seen it work for a client. I've never seen it work for a friend. Why? Because as humans, the thing that we do really effectively well is we take all of the data and information that we bring in and we build habit on top of it. And your thoughts based on the data become your habits, and your habits become your life. So if your habit is you wake up in the morning, you smoke a joint, you lay in bed, scroll Instagram, you are 25 minutes late for work every day, you can't pay your bills on time, you eat trash food, you watch too many adult films, you don't work out, you have arguments with people in your life all the time, so on and so forth, and you're at this moment where you're like, I want to change everything. Well, you don't have a foundational baseline to shift into a healthy change because all of your habits have created a lifestyle that's deeply unsettling and unpleasing. And so the idea that you would go, all right, I'm going to flip my whole life on its head and be different today doesn't work, because as a human, you are habituated. And so now you are habituated into your current lifestyle. The only way you get out of that is through the action. And this is why I always tell people it's like one step at a time. Because when I really was at the lowest of the lows, I'm 350 pounds, right? Smoking 2 packs a day, drinking myself to sleep, high all day, all night, in the horrible relationship, financial problems, nothing is working. And if I wanted to flip my life upside down, every single time I tried, it didn't work. And then I figured out the cadence. And as cliche as it sounds, it really has been one step at a time. One step at a time. And this one step, for me, began very simply with creating a rigid structure in my life in a timeline that looked like this. Wake up, get out of bed within 10 minutes, and sometimes it was 20, I'll be honest. Get out of bed as soon as humanly possible, brush my teeth. That's it. Everything about the transformation of my life that pulled me out of the space of wanting to delete and actually being here now, 15 years later, started with one decision. That's all. It doesn't take a complete uprooting of your life to change your life. And you hear people say this a lot: change only happens in the moment in which the pain of staying the same outweighs the pain of the change. And that's where I was at 25 into 26. I just couldn't live like that any longer. And that's where the decision came into play, because I had the awareness. Trust me, it was there. You cannot avoid, I'm buying a bigger size pants. You cannot avoid, I'm hung over again. You cannot avoid your girlfriend saying to you, you are a wall. When are you going to let me in? You cannot avoid.
Save big during Labor Day at Lowe's. Get up to 40% off select major appliances. Plus, buy more to get up to an additional 20% off. Shop even more savings with 3 Stay Green 1 cubic foot vegetable and flower garden soil bags for $10. This Labor Day, take care of your home for less at Lowe's. We help, you save. Valid through 9/3. Soil offer excludes Alaska and Hawaii. Selection varies by location. Select locations only. While supplies last. See Lowe's.com for more details.
The countless number of people that I hooked up with trying to feel something. You can't avoid the workaholism. You can't avoid the taking all of the things that are good about life and finding the bad. You can't avoid that. That is awareness at its finest, right? The acceptance of all that was brutal. I'm not going to lie. It was hard. It was disgustingly difficult, because the acceptance of it means that I had to take responsibility. Yes, I had drug addict, alcoholic parents. Yes, my grandmother was racist. Yes, I have a learning disability. Yes, I had this and that and this and that and that and that and this. All of it's true. Every single bit of it was true. And it led me to this thing where I just realized, like, so what? So what if it's true? So what if I come from nothing? So what if this is the worst thing that anyone could ever go through? Who cares? What am I going to do about it? Because I can't change it. There's nothing else that I can do, because I've let it lead me to this moment where this is my life. And so all of these things happen. It led me to this moment. This is my life. My life is a disaster. I cannot figure out why. Acceptance. I accept that my decisions brought me here. No one else, mind you. And that's a hard thing, because when you accept that it was you and not them, it's personal responsibility, and that means it's on you from here to change. And then finally, the action. I just had to look at my life through both of these frames of awareness and acceptance and decide to take different actions. And it took years. The first 4 years of this journey, 26 to 30, oh God, they were so difficult. They were impossibly difficult at times. There were so many times I still wanted to quit. So many times I still wanted to give up. So many times that I wanted to walk away from all of it and disappear and never return. There were so many times where I'm like, why am I in therapy? Why am I reading this book? Why am I watching this online course? Why am I doing these things? Nothing is working. And then I realized it was this domino effect where it was like 1, 2, 3, 4, and as I kept falling, it started painting this picture where this picture of me started to unravel and unveil itself, and I could see the work coming to pass. And it all started with the one decision. I'm going to get out of bed as soon as humanly possible and brush my teeth. And then I'm going to make my bed. And then I'm going to put the clothes away. And then I'm going to take care of the home. And then I'm going to take care of my physical body. And then I'm going to change my diet. And then I'm going to change what I consume. And not only in my mouth, but in my ears and in my eyes. Like, yo, it's crazy. I grew up listening to like 3 6 Mafia and to Project Pat and T.I. and all these guys. And I realized it was negatively influencing me. And I was listening to this hardcore new metal stuff, Korn, Limp Bizkit. Right, that stuff is impacting me. I'm watching these horrible, horrible films all the time. I love movies, but like some of them were really dark. Like nobody should watch Jarhead like 6 times. I'm just saying, like it's a phenomenal film, but like it's sad, it's depressing, it's angst filled. And so here I am in this moment, I'm realizing it's just like bit by bit by bit. And it all came through the awareness of looking at the truth of life and being like, okay, does this suit me any longer? And if it doesn't, you make a decision. And that's all this is. You have to let go of the expectation that you have on yourself that you have to continue to be the person that you were. You have to let go of the expectation that you have on yourself that you are required to continue to be the person that you were. That's where freedom begins. That's where your life begins to change. That's the moment where you pull back and you look at this and you say to yourself, I'm allowed to be different. And if you allow yourself to be different, that means that you have something to push towards. That means you have something that you can strive towards creating and building. And so you don't have to quit. You don't have to give up when you have something that pulls you forward. And I think that's the thing that we're missing often when we're in this space of the rock bottom, of the pain, of the resistance, of the life isn't working, of nothing matters, of the apathy, of all of it. You just have to decide to push towards something different. And I get it, you might be in the worst possible position in life imaginable. Homeless, car repoed, no money, no friends, no partner, no relationships, nothing. I have been there. And I'm telling you, if you make a decision and you force yourself through the path of discomfort of self-discovery, that will change. And here's why. Because at this point, you don't have anything to lose anyway. Now, let's say it's different. You have the family, you have the husband or wife, you have the children, you have the amazing career, you have all the things that everyone told you that you should have, and yet you are still sitting here thinking about quitting and giving up. You have to understand this part, and this is just true. I don't have the wife and kids. That's not true. I have an amazing career. I have all the things people always said that you should have, that if you're going to be happy. And I felt the deep sense of unhappiness. I have felt the deep sense of unfulfillment. I have felt the deep sense of what am I doing with my life? And the thing that happened that brought me back to me was going and serving something at a deeper level and doing something else that fulfills my creative need to have fun. I think life is very serious right now, and we have forgotten how to have fun. And I'm not talking about like playing video games and watching movies. I'm talking about creating. So I started playing drums again. That fills me up. That's something I did as a kid. I started making art again, drawing and making tattoos, because I always loved doing it. I started doing all the things where people, where people say this, they say, if you could do anything in the world and not get paid, what would you do? And I realize it's the things that make me happy. And that's what we forget when we chase the money and the success and all those things. And this is why we have these people who they're billionaires and they build massive empires and structures and companies, or they're what we see as the best dad and mom in the world, and they're always giving, but they're not receiving and taking. And then they end up taking their own, right? And so I think the thing that you have to understand is that a big part of this is also seeking that internal fulfillment that makes you happy, that brings you joy, that makes you feel like things matter. And so as you continue to walk down this path, I just hope that you understand the reality that giving up is a viable option, but it might not be the right option. And that's what I hope that you understand here, because I'm not going to take it away from people. And it's dark, it's dark. I mean, I remember I sat down and I wrote that note. I wrote that note when I was 25 years old, and that was dark. And I understand. And I just think to myself every single day, I'm so glad that moment went differently. It's not that life isn't harder or easier. It's kind of still just life. It's not that some things haven't been good and some things haven't been bad. It's just life. It's just that the truth of the reality is, like, as I sit here with you right now in this moment, I feel like all of the pain and suffering was worth it. And even where I'm at now, the books, the awards, the podcast, I still have not yet fully tapped into my potential. And so there's still a big part of me that's seeking more. There's still a big part of me that desires to be of better service. That's where this came from. That's why I'm creating this content. That's why I'm sitting with you, hopefully as a friend and a mentor. I'm only sharing my story and showing you the way that I did it and the same way that I've helped others do it. And I'll leave you with this. You can do this. You can do this. Like, I'm telling you, you are fully capable of doing this. Now it becomes about decision, that action piece of the puzzle. Here's what I would suggest to you. If I were you and I was watching this and I was in a dark place right now, what I would do first and foremost is I would seek help in the deepest sense of it. And I'm not talking about your friends or your husband or wife, definitely not your kids, and certainly no one you work with. I would go seek professional help. I would do it immediately. I would call the hotline. I'll put the link in the description. I'll put the phone number in the description. Call the hotline. I would then, depending on where I'm at, maybe I'm not that far gone, maybe that's not where I'm at, but I'm at this place where just that rumination is there. The ideations are there. The thought pops up of not existing. I would grab a journal, a physical piece of paper and a pen, and I would write down all of the ways in the world that the world is not going to be as good without me here. And I know one of you just now thought to yourselves, well, the world would be better if I'm gone. Well, that's a lie. And that's a lie that you're telling yourself, because that's not true. Because I can tell you right now, here's a secret that I learned a long time ago. You don't know this because you're not aware enough. Someone in your life, directly or indirectly, is watching everything that you do, and they want you to win. They want to see you be successful. They want to watch you pull yourself out of where you are. And I know that that can feel far-fetched. And you're like, well, what then do I bring? Well, that's what you have to sit down. Your gifts, the thing that is inside of you, your talent, your ability to connect, your love, your joy, your whatever that thing is, that is for you to give to the world. And I would argue you're not doing it right now. In fact, I could probably guarantee it. And so the thing that you have to do is go and give. So grab that notebook, a piece of paper, a pen, and just write down all of the ways that you can give. Let's not take right now. Let's go and give. Let's go be of service. What this is really about, by the way, is human connection. This is about you connecting to another human being on a deep level. That helps you not feel alone. This is why go to the soup kitchen, go to the hospital, go to the elementary school, go to wherever it is that you can volunteer and go and volunteer. They need your help, by the way. And the thing that will happen, it'll start to fill you up because you're being human. Being at home, alone, depressed, in your underwear, eating peanut butter, watching cartoons, smoking J's, watching adult films, on your phone all day doom scrolling, that's not living. It's just not. And again, this all begins with a shift of your pattern. So it's about identifying those places you can serve. Then what you're going to do on another page is you're going to write, because again, we have to have awareness. You're going to write all of the things that you're doing in your life that do not make your life better. And then the important part of this, you're not going to beat yourself up. Don't beat yourself up about it. It's not going to help anyway. You know this. You've already done it. It didn't help before. Why would it help now? You're just simply looking at truth. This is the acceptance part. And then on one more page, this is the action part. All you're simply going to do is write one sentence about one thing that you are willing to start changing immediately. And look, I'll be honest with you, to be like, I'm not gonna smoke cigarettes anymore, and you've been smoking 2 packs for 10 years, that's a hard sell. That's gonna be a tough one. I don't know that that works. It didn't work for me, all right? I had to taper through that. But one thing that could work, very simply, hear me on this, I'm not going to drink Coca-Cola today. Very simple, today. We're just trying to make it through today. Let's get today settled, worry about tomorrow. And I want you to know, you matter. You are important. You are a person that the world is better with because you exist. And I know it doesn't always feel like that. And I know that this can feel so incredibly difficult and so unbelievably unfair, but you matter. I promise you. Because look, here's the truth. If I didn't believe that, I wouldn't even make this video. I wouldn't make this content. I wouldn't have written the books. I wouldn't try to help people. Because I've seen the power and the ability that people like you have to transform everything. Everything. And so I invite you to do that. And the last thing that I'll say, I have a free community that you can join for people like you, people like me, who are just trying to live a life that's different, to heal, to overcome, to be able to sustain, to be seen, to be heard, to be able to have contribution and to contribute. And all you have to do, there's a link below in the description. Click that link, come and join the community. It's absolutely free. I mean, we got all kinds of stuff in there. It's a new community, so it'll grow, but today it's free and it's $0. And it's just a place for you to come and hang out because you matter, you're important. There's no reason for you to be alone. Thank you for being here. Take care of yourself. Take care of each other. Until next time, my friend, you be unbroken. I'll see you soon.
Finding great candidates to hire can be like, well, trying to find a needle in a haystack. Sure, you can post your job to some job board, but then all you can do is hope the right person comes along. Which is why you should try ZipRecruiter for free at ZipRecruiter.com/zip. ZipRecruiter doesn't depend on candidates finding you. It finds them for you. Its powerful technology identifies people with the right experience and actively invites them to apply to your job. You get qualified candidates fast. So while other companies might deliver a lot of hay, ZipRecruiter finds you what you're looking for. The needle in the haystack.
See why 4 out of 5 employers who post a job on ZipRecruiter get a quality candidate within the first day. ZipRecruiter, the smartest way to hire. And right now, you can try ZipRecruiter for free. That's right, free at ZipRecruiter.com/zip. That's ZipRecruiter.com/zip. ZipRecruiter.com/zip.
Save big during Labor Day at Lowe's. Get up to 40% off select major appliances. Plus, buy more to get up to an additional 20% off. Shop even more savings with 3 Stay Green 1 cubic foot vegetable and flower garden soil bags for $10. This Labor Day, take care of your home for less at Lowe's. We help, you save. Valid through 9/3. Soil offer excludes Alaska and Hawaii. Selection varies by location. Select locations only. While supplies last. See Lowe's.com for more details.